June 23rd, 1972 is an important day in the history of this country.
No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance.
Title IX is designed to provide equality of opportunity for young women. That was not the case before Title IX.
In the early 1900s, exercise was not even encouraged for women. It was believed by doctors that exercise could cause women bodily harm and disrupt a woman's ability to become pregnant. Coleman states that prior to the amendment's passage, women's athletics consisted of rope climbing, building pyramids, and working on posture. Women could only participate in the same sports as men behind closed doors, Coleman states. Even when women became able to participate in some of the same sports as men, such as basketball and tennis, they were forced to adhere to extremely strict dress codes. Women were usually required to wear long dresses, bustles, and sometimes corsets, which greatly restricted and limited their movement.
At the time, only 1 in every 27 high school athletes was female. Now, as a result of Title IX, 2 out of every 5 varsity athletes are girls.
Legislation, only 30,000 female athletes were participating in collegiate sports. By 2010, that number had risen to about 200,000 athletes. In high school, about 300,000 women were involved in sports before Title IX legislation. In 2010, about 3.3 million women were participating in sports.
Most women in sports today can't remember a time without Title IX, but they benefit from it every day.
With over half of the college students are women, over half of the graduate students in all kinds of fields are women, and the notion that one of the fastest growing segments of our economy are women-owned businesses. We know that opening the doors for women to be in science and technology and engineering are hugely important, not just for the advancement of those women and their families, but for this country, to lift up over half of our population and make sure that we are fully productive and fully prosperous in the future means empowering women and girls, and Title IX took a huge step in that direction.
But Title IX was meant to open doors and establish parity in terms of particularly the field of education, and along with that would be the participation in college athletes and then in others.
You can't ignore the brain power of 53% of the American people.
It was about social change. You have to remember in 1973 when I played Bobby, or in 1972 when Title IX was passed, women could not get a credit card on their own without it being co-signed by a male, for instance, just to give you one example. And I knew that my match against Bobby Riggs was about social change.
Research conducted by the Women's Sports Foundation, founded by Billie Jean King, shows female athletes have greater emotional and physical health, experience higher self-esteem and confidence, receive higher grade point averages and standardized test scores, and are more likely to graduate from high school and go on to college.
I wouldn't have had a career without Title IX. I think first and foremost, I wouldn't have been able to, play soccer or any sport that I liked in high school.
Yet despite the gains by athletes like Ham and the generation of girls who can't imagine a time when they couldn't play on the same field as the boys, Ham believes Title IX's work is far from over.
Male athletes, on average, receive 55% of scholarship dollars from colleges, while women only receive 45%. Coaches of men's Division I basketball teams earn on average yearly salaries of $329,300. Head coaches of women's teams earn only $171,600. Women's collegiate athletic teams receive only 38% of their college's athletic budgets as well. High schools provide girls 1.3 million fewer chances to play sports compared to boys. In 2011 to 2012, men were provided with 63,000 more collegiate athletic participation opportunities.
So we have a lot of room for improvement, but right now, we're celebrating our accomplishments. It's fantastic. We would have never won the Olympic gold in the '96 Olympics in Atlanta if it hadn't been for Title IX in soccer, softball, basketball, all those sports. We would not have had that opportunity. We wouldn't have the talent pool. The World Cup in '99 at the Rose Bowl when the U.S. won, when that dramatic, traumatic final against China. So it's we're really lucky to have Mia Hamm.